forests of Wales for the opening round of the British Rally Championship. Facing the drivers are 10 of the fastest, most demanding stages, packed into a challenging one-day event. Starting the defence of his British title in the ProDrive Subaru Legacy is Colin McRae, whilst younger brother Alistair will be aiming for Group N victory. Steve Lee takes up the story.
23-year-old McRae set off as he meant to continue the ever-developing Subaru Legacy, charging over the flowing 11.5-mile stage in just over 11 minutes. Trevor Smith, driving this Group A Sierra Cosworth, won the Mintex National Championship in Britain last year after 6 years of trying. Kenny McKinstry from Ulster won last year's Irish Championship, driving on all tarmac rallies, but showed that in his Subaru Legacy, he can scatter the stones with the best of them. Gwyndaf Evans, the now famous school bus driver from Dinas Malfwy in mid-Wales, was a last-minute entry in this hired Sierra Cosworth. Before the rally, he drove it for literally 10 minutes just before the start. Evans had been testing works cars for the Ford team all week, but this one sounded slightly off-song. He'd obviously got problems. Barla Lake and the first main chance for service crews to get their hands on the cars. Robbie Head was in 4th place. How had he found it?
It was a little bit slippy in there. The surface is very muddy and there's like a film of mud and it's very, very slidey, and the tyres weren't biting in as well as I think they should have been, but other than that, not too bad. A little misfire that I think they're going to cure in this service area, and other than that, it's not been too bad.
Up at the head of the field, Colin McRae and Gwyndaf Evans were pulling away from the rest of the cars. Had they a battle on their hands?
Colin's in a battle of his own, I think, to be fair. Colin's going very well. And we're sticking in there, hopefully keeping to 2nd place, and we'll be quite content with that today, and enjoying every minute of it.
Driving fairly quickly because you can't afford to back off, because you just don't know how quick these guys are going behind, so I'm driving, kind of safe flat out speed.
100. Safe speed for Colin would be mega fast for most, of course.
See you then. 250.
Colin McRae and Derek Ringer were making it look all so easy. Although they had a healthy lead of 50 seconds over Evans, a puncture could easily alter that, so they daren't let up, as we can see from our own onboard camera.
4 right to junction, turn 2 left, or 2 left minus.
We got a puncture on a hairpin, and the car slid and hit the rut and pulled the tyre off the rim. I'm not sure whether we clipped the bank or it was just the tyre coming off the rim that's damaged the car, because it didn't feel as if we hit anything very hard.
Kenny McKinstry's Subaru, complete with damaged windscreen after a brush with the trees, obediently followed the rules of the road with ordinary traffic en route to Dolgelly. In the walls, in a minor sort of way, was another Scot, young Alistair McRae, whose mechanics had to do a bit of glazing work.
Well, on the 2nd last stage, just a right-hander, maybe half a mile in, there's a big branch sticking out the banking. Kenny McKinstry hit it, and then we did the same, so it's burst the screen and bent the pillar slightly. Not a problem. The loss, Dave couldn't see out for the rest of the stage, so he couldn't read the map at all in the rest of that stage, but not a problem.
Heading south of the infamous Dovey Forest, Colin McRae continued on his remarkable way. So far, he'd clocked up fastest time on every special stage of the event. Not content with competing on all rounds of the Mobile One Top Gear Championship, he's also contesting a number of world rallies for Subaru this year. In the Dovey complex, Gwyndaf Evans was now virtually in his own back garden. Still holding 2nd place, his badly misfiring Sierra was now over a minute behind the flying Subaru. As he'd no spare screen, the Subaru of Kenny McKinstry was still sporting the battle scars from his earlier brush with the trees. Although he had difficulty seeing, McKinstry still overtook Head, who, like many, had punctured a tyre. This cost Head at least 80 seconds, and he plummeted down the field from a magnificent 3rd place. This allowed his fellow Lanark driver Alistair McRae to make a real charge, and he moved up to 3rd. Young Julian Porter had been driving very sensibly, but he was about to experience something familiar to every rallyman worth his salt. The rain, which had threatened all day, finally came. After a slow start, Trevor Smith was now in the groove. For the popular Welshman, Gwyndaf Evans, it was a case of determination and perseverance. The Sierra was still missing like mad. It was becoming a frustrating day, though Dovey had been kinder to him than many times in the past.
6 right and 7 left. 7 left.
Conditions became worse by the minute as the car charged around the huge forest complex. Son of 5-time British champion Jimmy McRae, Colin was showing that he could easily emulate his famous father. He was in his element, swinging in the rain. With younger brother Alistair not far behind, it makes you really wonder what Mrs. McRae puts in their porridge each morning. Back in Group N, as Head tackled the Flynog stages for the second time, the pace was getting faster. Head was taking time off Alistair McRae and reckoned he could catch him. McRae was having none of this and drove the fastest he'd ever driven over the last 2 stages, even changing a noisy gearbox as a precaution. He would manage to fend off Head by just 1 second.
Young Alistair clearly demonstrating true McRae rallying form by winning Group N, whilst elder brother Colin, as expected, takes a comfortable victory overall. But it was Trevor Smith who finally overtook Gwyndaf Evans to take second place. Still, nearly 5